Very good evening to everybody watching. Thank you for joining us tonight on the agenda. My name is Toibon Jebela. Tonight on the platform we are joined by Conrad Lutombi. He is the outgoing CEO of Roads Authority. He is here to share with us that very exciting journey at the company and perhaps venture into what his plans for the future are. Thank you very much, Conrad, for making time. It's really a pleasure. Tell us, when did you join Roads Authority? Because, of course, when you got elevated first as acting CEO, I think it was in 2010.
Yes.
And then you assumed the position substantively in 2013. That is the time that a lot of us started noticing you. But you ought to have been at the company longer than that.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much for having me. I joined the Roads Authority in 2001.
Okay.
On the 1st of April 2001.
Okay.
That time I was a sectional manager for road transport inspection services, which was responsible for the weighbridge operation and some traffic law enforcement on the national road network. And so I grew up in the Roads Authority. At that time I was young. I was around about 33 years old. Yeah. So I then moved in 2008. I was moved from the Transport Inspectorate to be in charge of transport information that time, which includes notice and transport regulatory services. Mm-hmm. So I worked there from 2008 to 2010.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was appointed to act from 2010 to 2013 when I became substantive, yes.
Yeah. You had some police background, don't you? You were a traffic cop. What were you before that?
Yeah, before that, yes, I am coming from the police and security environment.
Yeah.
I worked in the police just from school.
Yeah.
And then from 1994 I joined the Office of the President until around 1997-98 when I moved to Transport, Minister of Works and Transport, as responsible for transport issues within the ministry, but mostly focusing again on the overload control and traffic enforcement, because that time it was still in the Ministry of Works and Transport under the Department of Transport.
Okay.
Yes.
So how did you transcend so seamlessly into the position of leading a company that is largely, I mean, you could argue almost that it's some sort of engineering company, because the kind of work that Roads Authority does is really to build roads. That is your mandate. And the amount of work that you did with your team, of course, is just amazing. You know, migrating from that transport expertise space into leading this entity.
Yeah, it was really not easy.
Yeah.
But of course, when I was in the police and security environment, I did my studies in policing, in terms of having a national diploma, and then also a degree in policing, and then I went out for advanced traffic road safety management in Sweden.
Yeah.
And then from there, I decided to more look into the leadership, and then I studied a master's in leadership and change management.
Yeah.
And then that is really what opened my more interest in focusing on leadership issues. And then in 2010, when they appointed me to act, it was also a challenge.
Yeah.
Because remember, my predecessor, there was no handing over. He left, and then I came in, and it was really very tough. But I think with my master's in leadership and change management, and of course the inbuilt humbleness and the respect and listening and understanding the environment of Ross Authority, I managed to pick up from where my predecessor left, although there was no handing over. And then now for me now to start building that team to the team we have today, which has really contributed immensely to the national as well as social economic well-being of this country.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. I mean, when you look around, there are not many examples of people staying that long at the helms of companies. If we start from your time as acting CEO in 2010, essentially you have then remained at the helm of the company to this day. You are just about to exit now. Is it end of December?
Yes. End of December.
Yeah. That is 2010. It's 15 years.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot of years. It means you have survived political changes in terms of your line minister. You have survived the evolution of the company, because of course the company has to evolve with the times and all that. When fellow SOE CEOs are battling, because you're also going out gracefully.
Yes.
You're not being you're not on suspension and just waiting for time to expire. You're not dismissed. You're not being pushed out. The survival at the top of an institution like that, how did you manage?
Yes, it's quite very interesting, and that's what leadership requires. You have to manage the top and manage the down. So how we survived, of course, was to ensure that you manage the top. You are in sync with the board. You are in sync with the political leadership. Roads are quite very, very much important. You need to understand the political agenda in terms of where the political leadership in charge of the country is driving the country to. And then once you are in sync with that national alignment, and then also understanding the board effectiveness and efficiency and governance, and now you have to go down to the affairs of the organization itself and make sure that it's aligned to the national goals. And the mostly difficult is now managing the people, because it's not the equipment, it's not what organization survives, organization dies because of the people. If the people are not in sync with the bigger picture of the organization, that organization will collapse, will die. But if people are motivated and they know where to go, the organization move forward. So what I did when I took over, the first thing I did was to, after aligning what was on top, was really to say, this is now a change, was to deal with the change which I found at that time. Remember, the organization was coming from the commission, presidential commission, and the CEO left, and then other CEO came, they left, and then my predecessor at least stayed for 5 years, and then he left. So I'm the longest serving CEO in the history of the Ross Authority, and therefore I needed to deal with change first, and then align the employees and the organization to say, this is the national agenda, we should move. And then we formulated a very, very effective, robust strategy. And it was my responsibility to communicate, formulate that strategy, and then communicate that strategy to the stakeholder, both the upstream stakeholders, the internal stakeholder, and then everybody who impacts on our work. And also to then motivate the employees that this is where we are going. And we brought also a rewarding system. Those who were doing well, we rewarded them. Those who were not doing well, we did find out what was happening. We helped them to improve. And then communicate, manage stakeholders was one of my very, I would say, my strength. I really spend more time in managing the stakeholder. We deal with the governors, the regional councillors, the local councillors, the mayors, the community, the business people, the ministers, cabinet ministers, government, and other institutions, and also align to the aspiration of number one in terms of leading the country, and that's the president. So eventually, we became very close to understand the aspiration of the former President Pohamba. And really, Rhodes, my fortunate part was that the Rhodes was very, very close to his heart.
He was a very passionate guy.
Very, very passionate when it comes to the road infrastructure. And he did build on the foundation which was laid down by the founding father. Because in the founding father, if you look immediately after independence, the focus was really on making sure that we open Namibia internally, and then and also link Namibia to the regional economic belt and to the rest of Africa and the rest of the world. So we aligned ourselves to President Pohamba. Is really very, very much passionate to the road. And then when President Pohamba left, President Hage, the late president, came in. And then again, he really put emphasis on us building on what Pohamba had left. But we went extra mile now to start expanding our network in terms of introducing the freeways. But the passionate was there if you look at the Harambee Prosperity Plan and all this. And that was again carried over by President Mumba. And even the current president, if you look at the focus, is really to say we have connected our regional network, but let's now focus more on expanding in terms of rural development. You cannot reduce poverty without roads. You need to connect constituencies, you need to connect farms, you need to connect schools, clinics, and all. And that's what this president is busy advocating. So because of that, really we were aligned with the political agenda up to date, and I'm happy that I'm leaving that agenda still at play, very much highly, especially at the top.
Absolutely. Yes. In terms of the financial state of the institution, what can you tell us about where you found Roads Authority around 2010 when you took over first as interim to where it is today? Is it a company that, is it a for-profit company first and foremost, like it's a commercial entity? Is it viewed as that? Because the problem also is that you don't sell roads, you build them for the state. So does that make you a commercial entity? And if so, how much subsidy do you rely on to do your work? And just in what state do you leave the company financially?
Yes, the Roads Authority is a non-profit organization. We are there to provide service to the public, in particular to the road users, business community. So we don't make money. Our funding comes from the 2 or 3 envelopes. Number one is through the collection of road user charges, which accrues the Road Fund Administration. And then the Road Fund Administration manage that fund and fund our operational activities. Number 2 is government or parliamentary appropriation, where all government projects are being taken care of through Parliament appropriation, and that funding comes through the Ministry of Works and Transport. And then the other is through grant, loan, again, which is taken either by government or by RFA, and the grant, especially KFW, and that's how we are funded. But when we are funded, it is our responsibility now to ensure that we operate on a very, very effective business principle, not necessarily making a profit, but providing effective services to the very people we are supposed to serve, and that's the Namibian people. So I'm so happy that since the inception of the Roads Authority, yes, previously we had challenges, but when I took over from my predecessor, the financial, it was very stable. Apart from that, the economy at that time was not doing well, but it picked up during around 2010. So we had a number of projects, especially during the time of President Pohamba, when it comes to the road network. Some we started with, some of them we started during the time of President, our late President Hage Geingob. As far as the financials are concerned, I'm happy to say that since I took over in 2010, to date now, we are being audited by external auditors, and then after they have expressed their opinion, then that auditing is certified by the Auditor General. And I'm happy that for the past 15 years I was with the Roads Authority. We received unqualified audit opinion up to date. So our financial position are very, very prudent, meaning the money we get, we use them. There's no issues of misappropriation of funds or whatever. And I'm happy that, and Roads Authority is a big organization. So it's because of the internal control systems which we are having in place. Of course, one needs to because the country, the organization evolves, so one needs to keep on improving. That's why when I took over, my strategy was not really to come up with a transformational change where we take everything which was on the table and throw it out. We said I would rather adopt incremental change and supported by continuous improvement of the processes and systems, and taking care of the people, the organizers. That's what we do. So as I'm leaving, I'm happy that the organization it's doing well in terms of the funding which we have. We have not misappropriated those funds. Those funds are there, and the results are there in terms of the output of our work. The road construction, the road maintenance, the notice activities. Yes, there are challenges in the process which I'll share with you as we move forward.
As we move forward, absolutely. You've built a lot of road networks across the country. I think the first time that I laid my hand on my eyes on you, if I remember very correctly, it must have been in 2010 during the commissioning of the Omakange, where is it going there? It's Omakange Road.
Yes, Omakange, we have two roads there. There's one which goes Omakange, Ruakana, but that came later, but it's Omakange, Tananga.
Yeah, that's the one, because I remember President Pohamba was there.
Yes.
And you officiated yourself also at the event. But since then, so many other roads have been built. In my area, Otapi or Kalongo Road came during your tenure, so thank you very much. Because I remember very much how my father suffered driving to Otapi from our village, and now we're just cruising there nicely, like we are, and it's one of the best roads in any case. But which ones are? How is it possible to quantify how many roads or kilometers of roads were constructed under your leadership? How do you quantify that?
Oh, yes. I think maybe what I first want to say is that when I took over, the asset value of our road network, it was around 90, just below 100 billion. But as we are talking now, the asset value of our road network has grown from 90 to 221 billion.
Oh.
So if something has to happen to this road network, Namibia needs over 221 billion to replace this network. And that tells a story. As far as the kilometers are concerned, when we took over the kilometer of the road network, before independence, after independence, we were around 3,000 kilometers in terms of the bitumen road. But after independence, we increased it. By 2010, we were around 4,000 somewhere there. And now we are standing at about close to 10,000. So almost 5,000 or 4.5 was constructed during my time, and of course during the time of President Pohamba and the Prime Minister by then, and during the time of President Hage, Mbumba, and the current president, and there were also various ministers who really did very well in my view, such as Honorable Eric Ngimtina. We worked very hard with him in terms of really ensuring that we connect Namibia, and that was followed by Honorable Narusep, and then from Honorable Narusep, Honorable Mutora. We were everywhere with him, expanding, and then now Honorable Nekundi. You must understand that during the time of Honorable Mutora, Honorable Nekundi was a deputy, so he played a significant role in ensuring that what we have today, indeed, we have it. So I'm quite happy that we saved under that leadership, and that together with the national leadership of the country, as well as the colleagues within the Roads Authority, that we managed to do that. But as far as the roads are concerned, sometimes when I reflect, you are quite right. I would say that, look, in the Zambezi region, for example, during my tenure, we constructed a very, very critical road from Namalovi, which we have named Brendan Simbwaye, up to former Shugumasbek, now it's Luhonono. That place, you could not, there was no road, and you could not. I remember when we sat with President Pohamba, he asked me, "Are you sure we are going to do this road?" And I said, "Yes, Comrade President, we will do it." And we have done that. We have constructed roads in Impalila. Nobody thought of a surface road in Impalila. We have now started connecting Impalila to Kasika to Nakavoleba, because you can't reach Kasika during the flood plain. And then we have constructed the famous Kamenga, Kongola, Dinyanti, up to Liselo. We have constructed, and a few gravel roads which we have constructed in Zambezi. We moved to Kavango East. We have constructed the first project, which was key, was the expansion of the Divundu Bridge. That really contributed, because previously it was just a single, so over-dimensioned vehicles could not pass, and there was a bottleneck. And we expanded that during the time of Eric Ngimtina and President Pohamba. And then we proceeded. One of the bigger projects in Kavango East and Kavango West was Rundu Nkurenkuru, which connected to Angwena at Punguflei, Okongo, went up to Enana. We did that. And we also did the Kurenkuru to the border post with Angola, which also extended from Punguflei all the way up to Chumeb. We constructed that. And most other important project was the continuation of Omafo, Ongenga, you call it Okalombo, I call it Onanjamba. So I know the place very
Yeah,
well.
sure.
Yes, and then we proceeded up to Otapi, even linking Okalongo with Omvelo Kasamane
Yes.
border gate. We did that, linking Oshikuku to Okalongo. We did that, and we proceeded with Tenanga, as you have said, to Makange, as well as Makange to Ruakana, and then Oshana, we did the Oshakati Oduno through Okatana, as well as Oshakati Mgwerume, which was also linking to part of Angwena there, as well as Oshikango, Oshigambo to Enana. We did that. Onaena, Kankolo, we did all these, and then we proceeded. Oshkoto, part of Oshkoto was the Chumeb to Sinsa Beach, which connected to Pungufle. So we did that, and that most of these were during President Pohamba's time. And then we proceeded with a very, very important road, which of course started with the Prime Minister, with Pohamba. I remember the groundbreaking in Dimopses. That was the Hobabis, Oshinene and Oshinene, through Okanjatu to Kamatapati and Rootfontein. And we completed that during the time of President Hage. Yes,
I remember very well. Yeah.
Yes, in the Kolmas region, for example, and Irongo, we started with the 2+1 from Okahanja to Karibib, and then now we are busy with Karibib to Usakos, and we did the Figepunye Freeway, which is Sokop, Walsh Bay, and we started also with the Walsh Bay, Hens Bay, coming to Uis. We are completing now. Now we have commenced from Korihas, from Kamanyab to Korea, because the whole idea is to make sure that we link that corridor up to Kamanyab, so that people from the north, you don't have to reach Ochvarongo if you go there, or Ocho. You can just link all the way from Makange, linking up to Korihas, Uis. You are in Swakopmund, Hens Bay, you are in Walsh Bay. That's the idea. The construction of the Dr. Hageji freeway to the airport, we did that. In Omaheke, we also proceeded with the Hobabis on the Rombapa, Aminius. Now we are close. We are already entering Aranos. We have started now with the Talismanas Road, as well as the Duplessis Epicuro Road. Most importantly was really when we constructed the road from Roshpina to Orangement. As you know, previously you could go through, people were traveling through South Africa to access back to Namibia again. But now we completed that, and then now people enjoy from Roshpina going. In fact, we started with Aus Roshpina, and then we continued with Roshpina arrangement. So we have done a lot, and I have not mentioned the access roads in terms of a gravel road. We have done a lot. Pato in Naushe, Mbau, I can mention Tomba Mdangiro, all those projects in Otapi, in Omsati. I remember one of the projects on Kani, and one of the projects which really took my heart is the project from Omwanda to Mtambamawe in Omsati. I went with the late Temba to Mtambamawe. Yeah. And then when we were at Mtambamawe, we crossed with the two ladies who were on the sleigh. Yeah. Yes. And then we went, and when we came back, we said, no, we need to give these people a lift. We gave the lift up to Okahau Hospital. As we dropped them, Okahau, and then we went, The following day we came back because the time we were dealing with Ongurumbashe, and I'm so happy that we completed Ongurumbashe from Sandy to Ongurumbashe. We were also planning that one. And then we went to the hospital and we asked, how are the two Meme doing? And then the lady said, as you dropped them, one gave birth to a son. Yes. And they were saying, we must take you so that they must name the child after you, Conrad. Or so I was blessed.
Okay.
And really that took my heart, and then I told my brother that we need to put a road here.
Absolutely.
So we pushed that gravel road from Omanda up to Mtambamawe. And now if you want to link, you can link that road from Mtambamawe to Okuyushona, and then it can also west. It can link to the road from Opuo to Kamanyap, and in future that will be one of the routes the country will have to focus on. So there are a lot of really issues sometimes when I reflect that I can talk a real story about roads than people just think that roads are quite very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. We go for a very short break and return with Conrad Lutombi.
Wild and free, so it feels so sweet, makes me feel like
We continue this conversation with Conrad Lutombi. He is the outgoing CEO of the Roads Authority. The one road, Conrad, that I continue to be pressed a lot about, because I am married in the Ukolongadi district. So the Tsandi Onesi Road, every time I go there to visit my in-laws, the communities come to my mother-in-law's house and say, oh, the man from the newspapers is here. Can you take our message to Windhoek and tell us why is our road between Tsandi and Onesi not being constructed? What is the issue there?
Yes, we understand, and really that message was carried over to the president at that time, President Hage, and then we received a letter. And we visited even during the time of Honorable Mutorwa. And then we started with the first phase of Sandy towards, we call it Sandy Epalela. Yes. We started with it, and then with the new minister now who has come, he has issued a directive that this phase which we have started now will not stop until we reach the completion of the entire stretch of the road. So I can proudly say that yes, we received complaints, but I'm happy now that an instruction was given. We have appointed a contractor now, so there should be no excuses. That road must be completed as we are going forward. Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. That's very good. You spoke about challenges, which we haven't gotten into yet, but one of the challenges from an outsider point of view is that when you contract companies, people expect that Roads Authority must bring in local entities to partner in these projects. I remember, for example, you having to come to my show maybe a year or two ago, when all the 7 bidders, or shortlisted bidders for the Karibeb Usakos Road, were Chinese companies. Of course, I remember that it was the German Development Bank that provided that funding. I don't know whether they were also the ones involved in the handpicking of those companies. But if you can walk us into that conversation, what challenges did you experience regarding local contractors and bringing them in? Do you just bring them in because they are local? Do they have to have capacity? Do they actually provide that capacity as required? Or they expect you to compromise the quality because of solidarity, all those kind of things?
Yes, look, it's quite a very thin line when you're pushing development and service delivery at the right time versus trying to accommodate national pride, so to say, in terms of national capacity. Therefore, we in the Roads Authority, we had a very, very robust policy on SME development. What we believed was that there are projects, and that's what we still, there are projects which can be executed by the locals because we have equipped them with that skill, and then we need to open doors for them to be able to work using that skill. That we have done. But then you have major projects like freeways, like really upgrading to high standards, bitumen high standard, where you need a capacity, because now you have to compromise. Either you appoint a person who does not have the capacity and compromise on the quality and the safety of the road users. And to me, I would rather refuse my brother to participate in the work because he does not have capacity than compromising the national interest and public interest. I will not do that. So to balance that, you find people when they are left out by the process, not by the Roads Authority, by the procurement process. They feel as if you have interest of this, you have no interest of this. Of recently, we have seen smaller projects, contractors are failing, and communities are on our neck to ensure that these projects are completed. We have a number of projects we had one of a very important project, which is in the Yona Jara, which we want to connect Kaudum, very, very strategic road. Unfortunately, contractor could not do, but we are happy now that they have really, with sort of a whip behind pushing them, they are improving on other. We had Nepara, Kurenkuru, the contractor could not do it. We had to quickly bring someone to come and do it. And whenever there's a delay on the project, and whenever you change contractors, you incur additional costs. All these projects where contractors have failed and you are bringing another new contractor, you pay a new site establishment, the rates are different, and you have also to redo the works which were done by the previous contractors. We had a Okatana, if you may remember, from Oshakati, Okatana to Onuno. We appointed the local contractor and they could not do the work, and it was really a mess. That project almost doubled when we brought another contract. So I'm happy that there are local Namibian contractors whom we have graduated from SME to very well-established contractors. Contractors like Nexus, for example, Namibiton, or Tessa, Brandberg, Kambwa, we have so many of them. These have really moved very strongly, and we have comfort that even if you give them work, they will be able to do. But we still have those with less capacity, but they want more and they cannot do. Now, you have to take a choice. I'm not here to save contractors. I'm here to save the Namibian people, the road users, the communities. People want roads there, and once you delay the service to the people because of the non-performance of the contractor, you deny that service to some people. And in denying that service to the people, there are consequences.
Yeah.
So why should we let our people to suffer because of a contractor you give him, and then he goes and buy an expensive car, and then he cannot deliver? So yes, people talk here and there, but we are focused on the bigger picture. And that is really my issue. As much as that's why we introduced the joint ventures. You'll find that on the freeways, on Windugo Kahanja, we had a joint venture, Otesa, and then the other Italian contract, and they have done extremely good work. On Walsh Bay, we had the Unique and then the Tohi. They are doing it very well. On the airport, we had China Railway on Namagogo, and we see that these joint ventures, they tend to work. And when the bigger contractors goes, these other contractors, they have capacity and they can stand on their own. And that is what we want to go. So we went ahead we are engaged now with the Central Procurement Board as well as Police Procurement Policy Unit to classify contractors so that we know a category of this can perform the work to the value of this, and then the value of that, unfortunately, you then open it to international. And once you open it to international procurement process, you cannot now interfere with the procurement because you want to advantage your local. If you want to do that, then you do it under the preference of the local contractors. And the Procurement Act makes provision for that. Yeah. But it's determined by the capacity and the nature of work you want to do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
How did you, I'm sure during those 15 years at the helm of the company, you must have encountered scenarios where communities are pulling projects towards their own jurisdictions or whatever to say, oh, because we see it with, for example, in the north, there's this big hospital that is supposed to be built. Ongwediva is saying it must be in Ongwediva. Ondangwa people are saying it must be in Ondangwa. So with roads, you ought to have also experienced those kind of contradictions. So how did you manage those conflicts?
Yes, these conflicts. What we did, we have what we call a medium to long road master plan. Now, this medium to long road master plan is fed by the regional road master plan. So each region plans together with us the priority projects, and then those ones are fed into the national medium to long road master plan, and which will then give that priority 1, 2, 3 for Omaheke is this road. Now, when we are planning for Omaheke, for example, we plan together with the regional leadership, the regional councils, and the traditional authorities, and everybody differ there. Once the road has been prioritized, then we cannot change it at the roads authority. We have to follow that. But sometimes, because unfortunately in any setup, you may find that this councillor coming from this one is much weak, or for whatever good reason, and the other councillors are much stronger. And you'll find that this councillor is getting tough in getting the roads in his constituency by priority. In that instances, we invite or we advise the minister then to instruct us to do the work in those areas, because of the fact that we see at national level that they are receiving national interest, but unfortunately, for whatever good reason, at the regional level, they are not being prioritized. Yeah. So that's how we have. But even though you still have this problem that chiefs or traditional authority feels this road must pass here, that road must pass here. But what I always do and engage the people is to always look at the bigger picture. With roads, the national agenda is there. The national agenda is to connect the entire country, irrespective of the tribal affiliation, the political affiliation, and that is the national agenda. That's what we see in the medium to long road master plan. That's what we see in the national development goals now, NBC 6. That's what we see when presidents set up a tone, when they say, we want development, shared prosperity for all.
Yeah.
So shared prosperity for all means everyone must be connected to the economic belt of the country, and that's what we want to do. So sometimes we say, when the road is constructed, it's there. You cannot now go there and say, yeah, you cannot use this road because some councillors do that. I brought that road. No, the road has now political colors.
Yeah.
It's either a gravel road or a bitumen road. That's all you get.
That's it.
You don't get political colors on the road. Yeah. But it's any leader who's sitting on top.
Yeah.
His interest or her interest is the interest of the people. So the people is everybody in this country, irrespective of what. And I share this. Sometimes I visit the regional councillors or the constituency councillor. They will tell me that, I'll tell them that, but that is the interest of the president.
Yeah.
That is the assignment. The president, the minister of equipment, is to cover the rest of the country.
Yeah.
So we have the same interest. The only difference is that you want me to leave those people and prioritize you,
Yeah.
and that I'm not going to do. So we must put things in order so that everybody feels that we are reachable and without roads. You see, before independence, the reason why roads could not be provided by then, first was to deal with their military interests.
Yeah.
Secondly, was also to isolate the people.
Yeah.
So it was so difficult for people to move from point A to point B because there are no roads.
Yeah.
But now with the roads, everybody, even if I don't have a phone, I can get on the car, I go to Ngurumbashe now.
Absolutely.
You know, so it was part of the political agenda to subdue the Namibian people. But now that we are in charge of our own systems, and that's what we are doing to make sure that we connect the rest.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's spend the remaining few minutes talking about you and the way forward. One of the things that shook a lot of observers is when some 3 or 4 years ago you declined the job of the City of Windhoek CEO. It's a job that comes with, we are told, $300,000 a month. It's a lot of money. And you, the chosen one, decided not to take that job. What transpired? Because you applied for that job, actually. You were interviewed live on TV, we saw you, only for you to decline at the end.
Well, you are right. It's quite a very interesting story.
Yeah.
But let me share with the viewers and you. It was not an easy decision. First, the reason why I applied really for seat of Windhoek position was that when I took over as the CEO, I said I'll serve for 2 terms. Then after that, I'll leave. And when my last term was almost ending, my son brought to be an advert. We have an assistant in our house. Every time I spend time, I go to Havana, I see how they are living, and I take my children, we go there, and when I looked at the sanitation system, the water, the electricity, people live in really the housing, the roads, and all the things. And I said to myself, well, maybe it would be better that I spend my other 5 years assisting in building the city of Windhoek, because this carries about 40% of the Namibian population. And really that was the interest. Therefore I applied, and then I happened to have been the candidate who was offered a job. And during the process when I was offered a job, unfortunately, the national interest also came in, where, and it's not a secret, where the national leaders of this country approached me. First, it was the late President Hagegenko, who approached me to establish why. And I also asked him, but why should I stay? Then he felt that, yes, you want to save the seat of Windhoek, but you are also saving the national agenda. So which one now? Because you can't leave the things you have done because you want to go there. Is it money? And I said, no, it was not money. It was really, I explained the same way I explained to you to him. And other people also came in, advised me, and then the President Pohamba called me to Okangudi. I went there. It was a tough meeting. I tell you this. He told me why. And that time we were just coming from COVID, and he said, "Fine, don't answer me now. Go back and write me a letter, and then phone me, or just stay. You're okay." It was a tough one. When I left, it started dropping some showers, and then I'm telling you, I went there, and people were passing. I said, no, this is real. Yeah. So I went, I came back to brief my family. My wife, of course, my wife was also not supporting it. Mm-hmm. And then my in-laws, my spiritual leaders also advised me to say, let's look at the bigger picture. Yeah. But when I then looked deep, because I asked myself, fine, if I go to seat of Windhoek, will I be able to deliver on what I wanted to deliver? Mm. Then I realized that the environment in the seat of Windhoek was very toxic from a political alignment there. Mm. And then I realized that even if I go there, I won't be able to deliver. Because in such an environment, I don't know what they've delivered. You can't deliver if you have got various political parties with various political interests. You can't deliver. Mm. So it was on this basis that I sat with some other political leaders. They called me, Dr. Mpada and the LPM and then the others, to explain. Respectfully, I told them that, well, I thought I would be able to deliver, but from the look of things, I won't be able to. So I don't want to come here and get a bigger salary, but I won't be able to do what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. So it was on that base that I said, well, it's okay. It's a big, good salary, but there are things you walk away from. Yeah. And one of the things I walked out was that, and I don't regret. I think my employer, my board, when they now offered me to come back, they wanted me to stay for 5 years. I told them that no, I would only save, remember that time I was still having a full 1 year. Yeah. I will only save additional 2 years. So the 3 years, please, because I feel I've done what I could do. Yeah. It's good for me to leave when I can still do other things for the betterment of the country. And a good leader knows when to leave. That's very important.
Absolutely.
So I did not want to leave when people are saying, get out, what and what. So that's why I told them with that. And we already prepared the succession plan by then. What you see we are doing now, it was already prepared 2 years back. Yeah. And I'm happy that with this board, they intensified that and then they carry that. And I really give it to them that we are doing a proper, smooth transition. Yeah. And because of the system we operate, this system we operate is bigger than individuals, and we are aligned to a bigger call. So that's what happened with the seat of
it's a very interesting story.
Yes.
And I appreciate the humility. I hope it inspires others. We are also inspired by what we have seen, the way you are assisting Hippie Chiwikwe, your incoming successor, also to sort of settle in already. I've seen you guys sharing a stage at some events. That's also very beautiful. But tell us now, with 1 minute left, what is next for Conrad Lutombi? You've just gotten your PhD. Obviously, no man gets a PhD just to go to Nagaboderwa or wherever the village is to sit down. I'm sure you have a lot to offer in your tank. Politics, is that something that you want to venture into?
Well, when people are saying I'm retiring, I'm saying, look, I feel I'm still young. I still have a lot to offer to this country. I'm leaving the environment of the Roads Authority, and I'm getting into another environment. But my aspiration is to continue contribute in whatever way I'll do. But I have a passion of food security. I feel that we cannot build a country if we are hungry. So I have a passion of that, but and the passion of public service. I really, one thing which was quite very difficult for me is that as we were developing the country, I did not forget to improve and develop myself. Remember, after my master's in leadership and change, I obtained another master's in business administration. I obtained an LLB. In fact, I wanted to go to stand in court and defend, but I said, well, and then here the PhD, I'm doing my master's in philosophy, leadership coaching, and leadership coaching now with Stellenbosch University, which I'm busy now, and next year I'll be completing that. So I really want to still continue to serve the country in my small way, wherever I'll be. But as to exactly what I'll be doing, that for now, it's for me. I'll share that one maybe next year after I have settled a bit.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Doctor, thank you for your time, really.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We wish you all the best. Congratulations on a sterling job that you've done with the Roads Authority. I think anybody who has any iota of fairness in their blood, they would admit that you did a sterling job. The road network in our country, it's called, we have one of the best roads in Africa, apparently, thanks to you and your team. So congratulations on that sterling job, but all the best for the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
That's Dr. Conrad Lutombi. He is the outgoing Chief Executive Officer of the Roads Authority, speaking to us about his 15 years as CEO of the company. Of course, he's served much longer than that at the company, and walking us into some of the highs and lows of his time at the company. Thank you for watching.